Well, here we are again, 2:30 on a Friday. I am hoping I am being heard. If you're out there, please leave a comment and let me know if my audio sounds okay. If you can see me okay, then we'll be on our way. So it looks like this is Doug is here. So thank you for joining, Doug. Appreciate it. Yes, you can hear me? Good. Good news. So I'm going to have to move that keyboard somewhere else, I think. Maybe I just use this one. Yep. And Chris, good to have you here. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. I can hear you and see you just fine. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm looking closer. I've got this little monitor in front of me that is maybe a bit too far away. So I've got a few new setups here, so bear with me as I try things and hopefully not screw up too bad with what's going on. So let me get down the corner here so we can see. Always do that, the wrong hand up top here. We are talking all things woodturning. This is a live stream series I've been doing for since last fall, and actually did some in the summertime as well. So we did a spindle series, I guess, sort of in the fall. Earlier this year, we did sort of a face grain series. And this next 8 weeks, we are going to do, and I keep doing that, it's over there, shop tips and jigs series. So 8 weeks. So from now through end of June, every Friday at 2:30, I'll be here. Hopefully you'll be here too. So, and yeah, so I've got a few other people joining here. So let me scroll back up. Philip, good to have you here. Thank you for joining. It's good to see you again, or good to be seen again, I guess. So, and Steve Thomason, thank you. So you'll notice the comments that pop up in the screen there. I'm streaming this both to YouTube and Facebook, and actually 2 Facebook locations. My own Woodturning Tool Store Facebook, my YouTube, which is a Woodturning Tool Store. Also streaming to Woodturners Retreat Facebook. I can never remember if it's a group or a page. Anyway, so you can watch me in both places. So you'll see the people I show that have a YouTube icon or a Facebook icon on them. So Lowell, good to have you here. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. You look good and sound good, but don't take Okay, I won't. Thank you, Lowell. Appreciate it. It's good to get back in front of you guys again and say hi to everybody. Glad to have you here. Yeah, Corpus Christi. Hopefully you guys are warming up. And Lee out in Alabama. Afternoon. I'll let Shelly know. Happy Mother's Day. So thank you. And it is Mother's Day weekend. We actually do have a bit of a sale going on. Not really a sale. I got a couple of coupons that were available to all the newsletter readers. But if you go on the website and you're buying any sort of DMT product, you'll get a coupon up top that'll say you can apply a 10% off for any DMT product. I don't know. I think that might be a $10 value or more. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember that. The other one is the eye gauging. All the measuring tools like these calipers and stuff that I sell. And I have to open my drawers up to find them. Where are they? Anyway. The eye gauging, inside calipers, outside calipers, vernier calipers, digital calipers. So if you have something over $10 in your cart that's eye gauging, you'll get a coupon button for a free 6-inch ruler, one of these guys. So you can get one of those free. Not a big deal, but hey, it's a free ruler, right? So that's happening now through Mother's Day. So take a look at that. Let me get back. I sidetracked there. Let me get back to what we're doing. So shop tips and jigs. So let me pull up this one, and we'll put this up. So this is the web page, And you can actually watch the YouTube here on the web page. Let me see if I can find my mouse. Oh, where is my? There we go. I'm on there. And if you scroll down a bit, so you can watch here right on YouTube or right on my page. So by the way, this is the Under Explore Woodturning live stream section. Here is the, oh boy, that is small. Hopefully you can see that. But today we're doing a Morse taper jig. I can't even, we're going to have to get closer. Morse taper jig, and then we'll do a cup center next week. So basically one will lead into the other. And so then we'll follow on with some tapping and making a sanding disc, drum sanders, talk about magnets, lathe, what does that say? Lathe mounted desktop. Oh yeah, my desk that I use. So, or a platform. So that kind of thing. And then not sure what we're going to do in the last week, but along the way, please share with me your thoughts on any sort of shop jigs and tips and stuff. And we'll talk through them and add them in and spice up the weekly sort of calendar, if you will. So let us get on to looking at what we have lined up here. So let's see. Talked about that, Facebook, YouTube. Let me look at comments again. I know I've got a number of people on here. So Nick, thank you for joining. Nick from San Antonio, another good customer and friend. So we'll hope to see everybody soon. I know SWAT is on, but we're still unsure what's going to happen there yet ourselves. Registration still not open, but we're hope to see people soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this I got a little chunk of oak, and we're going to create a Morse taper device so that we can stick that in our spindles. Probably not in the dead center, but in the headstock. Why do we want to do this? Well, it's actually an easy way. If you want to turn this as a spindle, you could turn a short Morse taper here and just jam it in your Morse taper in your headstock, and use that as your chucking method. So, or you can make some useful items. So, cup centers. We'll talk about some of these and how to use them and stuff like that. But basically fit right in there, and you're able to drive stuff with it. So, how do we go about making a Morse taper, and what Morse taper do you have? So, the most prevalent Morse taper out there is number 2 on most lathes. Some other lathes have a number 1. If they're a smaller lathe, some lathes have a number 3. And some have a combination of a number 2 here, and I'll bring this into picture, a number 3 in here. I think the one way, I don't know if they're currently that way or there still are, but had a number 3 out here and a number 2 here. So the difference in the 1, 2, and 3, just Google Morse taper in Google or whatever, search your browser you use, and you'll find specs for the different Morse tapers. But basically, it's a taper shaft, and if you grab your live center or drive center or any other sort of center you have, you'll see that taper on there. And I've kind of marked this one. We're going to use this one kind of as a template. And so those fit in there. So, and once they're in there, they're kind of a very good fit all the way along. So the key is to have a nice tapered fit. And so how do we make a tapered fit on a piece of wood like this? So good question. And what I do is I made a little jig. So this is basically I think it's hot melt glue or CA glue. I can't quite remember. But get yourself some scrap pieces of wood, this little chunk of plywood, and glue one piece on there, parallel or straight with one of the sides. Doesn't really matter, actually, but just helps for aiding. And then take your Morse taper device, lay it in there, any sort of center that you have, and glue up another piece alongside of it. And that way you've got a nice template. So I turn that upside down, that's not falling out. So it's a good fit. And so that is something very easy to make. CA glues make that very easy to do these days. So or even hot melt glue would work. So just make a little jig like that, and that's what we're going to use to create a Morse taper here. So we're going to try and get that to fit in there somehow. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to set up, actually I'm going to use that center, and I'll use the tailstock revolving center. I'm going to take off the cone though. And so I've been a little bit, distracted, I guess, with work and other stuff. I haven't done a whole lot of turning in the last few weeks. So this will be interesting. So we're going to set this up between centers. I'm just going to guess at the centers. And what I'm going to do is I've actually drawn out a little bit of a plan. Let me just rip this off this page here, because I got other stuff on there. And I'll zoom in a little bit. Oh, I didn't turn this on, so I don't really need that right now. So we have got sort of a drawing of what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to leave a tenon on this guy. That's going to be a 5/8 in diameter. And that I'll grip on a chuck. We'll use these little pin jaw chucks to grip onto that little tenon. And I'll kind of explain why later, or as we go through it. I guess I can tell you now. I mean, that's really going to be a tenon to glue into something else. Whatever device we're going to make, whether it's a cup center or a sanding disc or some other sort of, device, or maybe it's something that's just a way to hold the device as we turn it. Across the top here, we're going to have 3/4 inch diameter. And then I know some of the critical dimensions are 0.7 and 0.5. And those are about 2.5 inches apart. So we'll make some divisions and we'll take a look at it. So that's basically how I go about making it. So I'll end up with less than 1/2 inch at the very end and 3/4 at this end. So if I take, before I put this, I jammed that in too tight already. Geez, that's a good Morse taper fit where I just kind of slid it in there and it works. I just want to caliper this for a second to show. So I made those two, black marks on here that are kind of those dimensions. I'll turn this guy on. Oops, there we go. Zero that out. I hope my battery's not going to die on me right now. We're on millimeters. Let's go to inches. And right at that black mark, we are 0.6. And then down here, did I say 0.5? I think I wrote 0.5 earlier. Maybe it's 0.6. Right at that black mark, we're 0.7. So, and that is about 2 inches apart. So 0.6 to 0.7, about 2 inches apart. So my drawing, I wrote down the wrong number. It's 0.6, not 0.5. So a couple of easy things to look at measurement-wise from an actual device you own. So I'm going to set up my other vernier calipers to 5/8 because that's the diameter I'm going to make that I'm going to chuck. And then I'll just eyeball these. What about there? I'll bring this out a little bit. Just kind of lining up by eye. Let me just check the, let's see. Chris says scrap wood, that jig is $50 with today's wood prices. Yeah, that's a good point, Chris. It's crazy. I haven't priced out any of myself, but people have, I've heard and read articles that It's just gone up like 1,000% in the last couple of months. So, but that's what we're going to shoot for. But yeah, so yeah, I guess wood is getting more valuable is what Chris is getting at. My safety glasses here, tool rest. We'll use the little one. Yeah, so like I said, if you got any sort of you've done this kind of thing before, or you got some other thoughts on jig making, Morse tapers, let me know. I didn't plug this in yet. Yep, we gotta have power, people. So there we go. So yeah, it's been like I said, a few weeks since I've turned anything. I've been kind of restructuring the studio a bit, setting up some other things, I guess, in terms of video equipment. It's kind of become another hobby. So I'm going to turn this around first. I'm around 1800 RPM. Not very fast, but fast enough. This is, yeah, a piece of scrap oak. Harvested some oak probably 6 years ago, and I've got this piece and maybe another couple pieces left. Oak gets kind of a bad rap, and it's great for this kind of thing. It's nice and hard, so it'll hold up well as a taper device. Just using a roughing gouge here to kind of smooth it out. Other sort of Morse taper devices we could see being used. You could drive something with it if you didn't want the, just needed a sort of a friction drive. This heartwood or cambium layer is not the stiffest there. See, so we're gonna make this is gonna be. Should really make that the skinny end, which if I do, I want to actually flip it around. I could make the 5/8 down here, but it's difficult to get at. Yep, I have to flip it around. So change of orientation here because the wood is telling us what to do. Because I want my 5/8 down here at my thick end. If I look at my drawing again, so I'm turning it kind of this way right now. Turning that 5/8, and that's going to be 3/4 and then skinny down. So once we get this turned, we'll flip it around and stick it in a chuck. That's the word I was thinking of. Okay. There we go. Got a nice good grip there. Good bite in. So turn the speed down. Just make sure everything's going okay. Double check that. So I've only got, I don't know, 3 teeth gripping that, but that's holding on pretty good. That's actually another tip. So anybody out there have a Powermatic? Let me see if I'm going to move this one camera that you guys haven't been looking at yet. And I'm going to kind of come over here as far as I can and point it at my, that's not the greatest angle of picture, but we shall take a look. So this is my switch on my Powermatic. It's got this little cover on it. What I've done is I've taken out one of the screws so it's loose. So when I push in to set the spindle lock, I can swivel this over and it'll keep it locked. So I learned that from somebody years ago, one of the clubs, but Yeah, so if you got a Powermatic or a switch cover, or even a way to make one where you can put a hole or drill a hole and capture a piece on there, it just holds your spindle lock in place and then just let it go. Anyway, that's a little bit of a side trip, a little tip, shop tip, if you will. So let's leave that camera over here, and let's get, if we can get that up there. What do I have? There we go. And I didn't move this. Just setting up the slider. Bear with me as we travel along the ways of the bed. So now actually what you're seeing on the screen is something I couldn't do before until I had my new setup. And I'm sorry, just gotta look at something. Manual mode. There we go. Having a picture-in-picture and myself as a green screen at the same time. I've got a new sort of setup here, some more equipment, and able to do this and a few other things that we'll see here in a few minutes. So picture-in-picture with me in green screen picture is something new. Get back up to speed, get back to turning. Let's start there. Let me, why is that still on there? I guess that, okay. So I got my caliper. I'm going to get my parting tool. Where did it go? I don't have a handle on it yet. Just have to grab a handle for this guy. So we'll just take this down and get to 5/8 on this end. Just have to move my chuck out of the way. Should be close to the diameter of the of this tip. That's pretty good. And we'll make that about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inches long. So I am doing a demo tomorrow for the East Texas Club, which is kind of cool. There's a few people out there I know. I haven't been out to one of their meetings yet. It's a little ways away, but yeah, so that should be fun. That's tomorrow morning for the East Texas folks. Looking forward to that. So we've got that done. Let's size this up to about 3/4. So take the calipers, go up to 3/4. And I think that's the wrong video camera. Okay, hang on, folks. We had a power outage here. Camera. There we go. Let's try that. And can you all still hear me okay? Yeah, you froze. Yeah, okay, I'm back. Hopefully, somebody post a comment, see if they can see me and hear me. Oh, you're back. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Yeah, we had a brownout, and it threw everything out. Kicked me out of StreamYard or off the stream. Luckily, YouTube kept trying, and I'm just going to check the health there. Stream is healthy, and it's just trying to refresh. Why isn't it? Let's get live here. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. As you can see, I started vacuuming. I thought we were dead in the water, but we got things back up. It was just a brownout, so things flickered and everything died, and then came back up. But we didn't have internet for about how long ever that was. So I apologize, folks. Let me just rearrange a few things here because all my windows got thrown around. So. You're back. Yep. Thank you, Steve. Land, good to have you here. You're visible and on Facebook. Excellent. So good. Facebook's working, and UPS batteries are most. Yeah. Well, that's probably a good idea. Uninterrupted power supply, but I don't know if I'm all that critical in terms of infrastructure. So, but it would stop those panic moments, those situations where you kind of go, oh no, what the F happened? And I don't know. Maybe I doubt my mic was still active when I was saying all the cuss words, but if you did hear them, I apologize. Let's carry on. So let me get down in the corner here. And let me get the other one back up. That's on. Let's put that on air. So there we go. So we were about to cut a 3/4 inch end on this guy. So let me double check. That's still tight. That's locked down. Oh, I got to get my safety glasses back on. Yeah, so interruptions. I don't know. I guess I would need a good 6 to 10 minutes of battery backup. That might be a pretty big ups. I'm not quite sure. And honestly, I don't know if the cost is worthwhile, Steve. But maybe you and I can talk about that offline. That might be something to check into. So 3/4 inch diameter here. A little lip started there. One hand into there. There we go. And why 3/4 inch? I don't know. It's just a good number to. I don't need too much of this. Maybe a 1/4 inch of it at the most. That's a good place to start because that's kind of. We'll start from there and taper down. We'll go 2.5. What did I say? 2.5 or 2 inches? I think 2 inches, right? So we'll go 2 inches over. Get my little ruler. Find my pencil again. There it is. And measure out from this area. So roughly, roughly there, over to there. And we're going to cut in 0.6 inches here. So what is 0.6? 625 is 5/8, so just under 5/8. About there. I was better with vernier calipers. I'll be able to get that more exact, but that's what we have this little, oops, can't really see where I'm cutting there. I think it's there, yep. Okay. So I'm going to cut on the downhill side, or the far side of that. Just going to widen it out a little bit. Get my caliper. Right to there. So we'll do most of the shaping now, and then we'll flip it around, put it in a chuck, and we could probably cut it off down here. We'll probably get 2 Morse taper devices out of this little piece. So best tool to use, well, we'll start with the rough and gouge. We are going from this diameter down to that diameter. Caught my edge on that corner, that's fine. Kind of grabs a little bit. We'll be switching to the skew here. Do that now. So we'll switch to the skew. This allows me to kind of get a nice cut and a flowing straight cut, hopefully. Now I know we got to go from 7.7 down to 0.6, so I know we're going to take a little bit off of that. I've got a little heavier at the skinny end. Still got quite a bit off to come off here, so I'm concentrating more down at this end. That's where it might be helpful to also change the angle of the tool rest to kind of match that angle. Let's see how we're doing. I don't think we're anywhere close yet, but we will take a look. This is where having it in the, chucked here and in the chuck, where we can slide this on the end. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll part this off down here, and then we'll turn it around and cut it free. So yeah, it's just cut through a little bit. Not going to part all the way through here. We'll not tempt fate. We'll go to there, then grab our little handy little saw. That goes into the garbage. Actually, I'll get that little scrap wood here later. And we'll knock this out. And get our chuck set up. Okay. Let's see. Lowell says, not sure what's going on here, but your camera looks a little out of focus. Maybe the resolution dropped way down? Could be that. Which camera? Overhead? Could be focus hunting when it's spinning. That's something to think about as well. Thank you, Lowell. Appreciate it. We will take a look. Michael, good to have you here. Thanks for joining. So we had a little hiccup earlier. We had a power outage that we just came back from. So I don't even know what time it is yet. 3:12. So a few more minutes and we'll get just wiggling it around just to kind of see. Okay. See that it's getting seating well. I'm using a little bit of shoulder that's there. That's why I like that extra thickness there. And you could make it 3/4 inch a bit longer and you have a bit more to grip. So 3/4 and 5/8. It's a 1/8 inch difference. So you got a 16th inch shoulder there. So that's something to think about. Now we can actually see how our taper fits. We can slide it on this way. So we're getting there, but it's about the right angle. It appears fine. It's a little lumpy yet right in here, but we need to slide it up quite a bit more. So we're going to be able to cut from probably about here down. So that's why it's nice to leave a little bit of length there. And I'll let me zoom in over there a little bit. So yeah, we'll I left probably could have left a bit more, but I left about a 1/4 inch. That's 3/4 inch tall. So we will work with that. I haven't done one of these in a few years, so let's see how we get on. Get that elbow poker out of the way. And a little too high there. That'll work. Try to kind of match the taper. Got a little bit of wobble. We're going to be cutting with the skew very gently. And I'm actually going to be going uphill. Just thought about that. That's not good, but that's what we're going to have to try and do a little bit. It's not a big deal. This isn't going to be a finished piece. Clean that off. Oops, had that backwards. Getting there. It's a little loose at the bottom. I can feel it wiggling, so we'll get we got a little bulge here. Wow. My cameras are a bit out of focus. Okay. Maybe. Let's do this. Is it the overhead camera, guys? Or is it the side camera? I'm guessing it's the overhead because that's mostly the one I'm using. See if that kind of gives a bit better contrast so we can get focused on that one part. Okay, let's give that a shot. Spinning objects will look blurry, so let me know if that helped. Just gliding my bevel along to find the high spots. It's getting pretty close. I can feel it wiggle at this end, back and forth, but we just need to kind of go up a little bit further, I think, and not cut so much here, but cut more up here. So, which is what I was trying to do. We'll just do a little bit more of that. And then the other thing that's going to help here is a straight board with sandpaper on it, or a stiff sanding pad. That's feeling good. A little bit of wiggle at the bottom here, but not bad. So that's going to be close enough for me. And I have a little bit of, where'd that little piece of sandpaper go? So we've got a little sanding board here. Our little jig, we'll just flip it over. Use it as a sanding jig. Get that out of the way. Come on. So we use that. I want to get it right on the edge, tight as I can. We'll sand away with that. Turn it down just a bit. That's going to really kind of get the high spots. And make it as smooth as we can. Now we've got a good fitting taper. So now, what can we do with that? This is something that you can use. You don't need to make it this full length, but if you had doing a long finial or something like that, you could certainly just cut a little small taper on the end section of your long piece of stock and cut the taper that way. So now we've got a Morse taper device. Oh, you can't even see that. It's in there so far. There it is. Stuck in there pretty good, right up to that indication we had there. It's not going any more than that. So if we drive that, do that. Can we actually turn on this thing? Sure we can. Let's give it a go. So we'll just smooth it out here with a little bit high. A little glue. We'll put a little glue well down in there. So what I've done is just kind of created a slight indent down there, so when you start pushing glue in, there's got some place to kind of hide. And then we'll drop this a bit, and we'll take a little bit off. Off there, clean that end off. So yeah, absolutely drive something with that. There we go. And you can kind of see it's not exactly perfect. It's rubbing mostly up here. You can see that shiny spot, and down here. So there may be some tweaking to do with that taper, but for what it's doing, it's going to, and I'm just kind of grabbing it and trying to get it to rub and see where it's rubbing. No, I can't. There we go. So it's rubbing up there, it's rubbing down here, and maybe slightly hollow in the middle. So might be some sanding down here. I wouldn't want sand anymore up here. Sorry, I'm off the frame because I don't want to go up any higher. But yeah, so once you get those, then you've got a little plug, and I'll get that off there. Off, widen out a little bit. You can get a 2x4, glue it on there, turn any sort of cup center that you want. So we'll pick that up next week, and we'll talk about cup centers and anything else that comes up. So feel free to send me an email or anything else to talk about what we did here. So you could use this as a drive center if you want a soft drive center, put some cork on that. You could even put a nail in there and make it a drive center yourself. Nothing wrong with doing that. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's where I'm at with that. Let's see. Yeah, so look up your Morse taper size. I think if I can get so if we do, why can't I? There we go. Come on. I'm not going to be able to type in that, am I? Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at that. And let me get that off again. So I just did a Morse taper search. You can find all kinds of things there, resources. If I, oops, get off there. Scroll down. There's I don't know if that's Wikipedia. Yep. You can see all that's Brown and Sharp, Jacobs, Jarno, Morse. There's the dimensions. Morse taper 1, 2, so 0.75 to point whatever along that distance. I don't know if that's metric or whatever, but that's basically where you can get information on which Morse taper you need, what the dimensions are along length and stuff. There's other resources that might be better, might be more in the right units you need. So whatever you think might be appropriate. That's all I did, looking for Morse tapers and looking at that, and and putting that pen to paper and measuring what I had on this guy. Let me show that. So that guy keeps coming on. I'll turn that off. There we go. So yeah, just measuring there and measuring that distance and using that. But really easiest thing is to build a template like this or a little jig and make it that way. Then using a flat for sanding works well. And then leaving a place out here to attach whatever you want to attach to it. So yeah, well that's really going to be it for me, I think. Let me find this, put that up. Woodturning Tool Store. Todd Rains here, 230 Todd, as some of you may have heard in previous live streams. This has been another wild ride. I had a power outage last summer. God, probably about this time too. I don't know. I have to take a look. So let me go back to the chat here for a quick second. I can find my mouse. Come on. Where is... Michael, just in from work. Hope all is well with you and Shelly. Yeah, we're good. Minus the power outage. Steve says, I'm noticing that his cameras are a bit out of focus too. Okay, yeah, hopefully I fixed that with the background. Steve says, the face camera with the green screen is the worst. Oh, really? Okay, well, I know. I didn't put on face tracking. So, hang on. Yeah, it's not on face track. There we go. That should work now. Should track me now. Sorry about that. That's something I should have checked. I need to check that next time. So that's not working. Thanks, Steve. And Lowell says, what's weird is that all the cameras are off. Well, that's not good. It might be the connection. Stream says it's healthy. Where's my mouse? Let me just refresh that. So I'm pushing up, I think, the right amount of data to get a good picture, I hope. So Lan says, I am on a small screen, but all the cameras are in focus for me. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Lan. And Hyam's here. Thank you for joining, Hyam. Appreciate it. Let's see. Chris says, they look fine on my end. Appreciate that. So James is here. Great way to make a gluing insertion tool for making pens and other manual work. Then you can use your lathe to sand your tubes. Oh, yeah. So good idea. So yeah, Morse taper in there. And then I think let me get back on here. What James is saying is once you have that, then you can skinny this down for a cone into a pen tube. So down to 7 millimeters on the end, or slightly less. And then you can pinch your, maybe instead of a cone or a Morse taper, let me see if I can get this in here. There it is. One of the things I made on this end is a little cone center that just fits over top of that. So if you can imagine, a pen tube squeezed between here and here, I think maybe that's what James is talking about. So that would work. I've also made, well, that's something else. I don't know what that is. Some other, accessories to go over top of this guy. But yeah, good idea, James. Thank you. We got Shelly on. She's saying hi to everybody. Hang on, I'm gonna find my mouse. What's she saying? Hi there, you are blurry. Yeah, I think I finally got face detection on my face camera, so hopefully that's better. Shelly's saying hi to all her fans. Anyway, hi to Steve, hi to Mike, Shelly saying hi back. So good to have everybody here again. It's good to be back in the shop. It's good to kind of get this live stream underway. And James says, yep, and I think that's to my comments about holding a pen tube. Yeah, happy Friday, everybody. Join me again. Before I go, let me make a plug here. I've got, what do I got here? Banner. Yeah, so here's the live stream, All Things Woodturning. That says Face Grain Series. I didn't update that. So I got to change that. We could change it right now. Why don't we do that? Tips and Jigs Series, that one says. Let me put up this other one while I'm doing this. So Woodturners Retreat is coming back in the July 31. It is going to be the 6 of us. So that's myself and Jeff Hornig from the US. We've got Cade Bolger and Joanne Savageau from Canada. Space. There we go. And from the UK, Chris Parker and Stuart Farini. So July 31, go check out woodturnersretreat.com for tickets. And all 6 of us turning in the evening. There'll be 2 sessions, 3 in one session, 3 in the other session. And then pick your, for watching live, you can watch, 1 or 2 or jump between them as they go on. But you'll get recordings for all 6 of the demos. So I am going to be turning the second part of this guy. So I turned this at my Woodturners Retreat event in, when was it? I don't know. March, I think. I think it was March, maybe February. March. I can't remember. Anyway, little oval box. So the second part is going to be a sphere. A sphere is going to be the lid. So that will happen July 31. And then several others will be doing whatever they are. But check out Woodturners Retreat for that event. Other than that, let's see. I did get it fixed. So I did the typo. Join me next Friday, 2:30. And for the next 8 weeks. We will be here talking about shop jigs and tips. So thanks, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Timely. Look at that.